Hey guys, starting a new chapter. So this is chapter 10 for geometry. This is all about circles, and we haven't talked about circles, which is kind of weird since it's geometry, but we've focused much more on the other shapes, the triangles, squares, rectangles. I'm going to be downloading a formula sheet with this worksheet. That formula sheet is everything for the entire chapter, every formula that you're going to need. So if you have the ability to print it out, I would print it out. Otherwise, maybe write it down on a piece of paper so that you have easy access to it, because you're going to need these formulas over and over again on all of your assignments coming up for this chapter. So for this assignment, we're just talking about three things: a diameter, radius, and circumference. So first you need to know what it is. I'm also going to download the vocab, so either print or write that down or just have easy access to that as well. And you'll have these definitions in there. So diameter is the length across a circle. So it's the full length here. So that is the diameter. Now radius goes from the center of the circle to the outside, and that can be anywhere around the circle, but the center to the outside, that is called the radius. So the radius is half the length of the diameter. So this would be a radius, and this would be a radius also. Now circumference is around. So it's kind of like perimeter that we've seen for other things, but the circumference is the full length all the way around a circle. That's called circumference. I'm sure you guys are loving my handwriting and all this stuff. It's pretty awesome. Okay, so those are the three things you need. I'll recap one more time. Diameter is our length across. Radius is from the center to the outside. And circumference is the around. Okay, so you'll have to understand those three to get through the other stuff we're doing today. Okay, so the first topic that we're going to talk about is just the radius. So remember, that's from the center to the outside edge of the circle. So let's say in this one, they give you the radius of 14. They might just ask you what the radius is. And in this case, they're just asking you to look at this, see that from the center to the outside is 14 and the radius is 14. So in a case like this, it is literally just as obvious as if you looking at it and telling what the number is. Okay, so if they give you that, that's pretty easy. Now the other thing that they might do is they might give you a length of, they might give you a length across. So they might give you a diameter. So they might give you the length across. Let's say that they say that this is 20. So the diameter equals 20, and they want you to know the radius. Well, the formula for that is the radius is the diameter divided by 2, because it's half of it. So if they tell you that the diameter is 20, they just want you to take the 20 and divide it by 2, which is 10. So the radius, so from here to here, this portion would be 10. So all that you're doing in those cases is just dividing it by 2. So if they ever give you a diameter and want the radius, this is the formula that you're going to use: the diameter divided by 2. Okay, the next kind of question that you're going to get today is they're going to ask you to calculate diameter. Okay, so if they want you to calculate diameter, you are going to use the formula diameter equals 2 times the radius. So they'll give you a problem that looks like this. They'll give you a radius, so from center to side. So let's say that the radius is 40. So to find the diameter, you're just going to do 2 times the radius, which is 40. So the diameter in this case is going to be 80. Okay, I'll just do one more example on that one. So in this case, let's say that the radius is 100. Again, you would just use this formula: diameter equals 2 times the radius. So the diameter is 2 times 100. So it is, the diameter of this one would be 200. You're just doubling it to find the diameter on these ones. The last thing that today's sheet is going to be talking about is circumference. So for circumference, you use 2 different formulas. One formula if you're given the radius, and one formula if you're given the diameter. So the 2 formulas Our circumference equals 2 times pi times radius. That's if you're using radius. And if you're using diameter, it's pi times diameter. So first thing you're going to want to make sure is that you have a calculator downloaded that you can use the pi button on, and that you know how to use the pi button. If you don't have the ability for the pi button, just type in 3.14 every time, and that will get you close enough to the answer. So in this first example, let's say you're given a radius. So the radius here, let's say is 12. Okay, so you have a radius, so you're going to use the first formula here. Circumference equals 2 times pi times the radius, which is 12. So in your calculator, you just type 2 times pi times 12, and it gives you a circumference of 75.39, which means that the entire distance around this circle is 75.39 feet, inches, whatever you're measuring it in. Okay, in this next one, let's say that they give you the diameter instead. They give you the diameter. Let's say that the diameter is 50. Okay, then you're going to use the second formula here. So you would do C equals pi times the diameter, which is 50. So in your calculator, you just do pi times 50, and it gives you 157.07, which means the length around this circle is 157.07. Those are the three formulas that you're going to use today, just to figure out radius, circumference, and diameter. So you're going to go ahead and do workbook 100. There's just 10 questions on there, so it shouldn't take you very long. If you're missing stuff from last week, know that you can still get full credit for those, so please do get those turned in. Have a great Tuesday.